I'm Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about rereads. So do I reread books? If so, what do I reread? All of that. First of all, I have to say I don't reread a lot of books. Because for me, the first time you read a book is probably gonna be the best time you've read the book. I feel like the first time you read a book, the emotions you experience, you won't get them as high as you won't, I don't think you're gonna feel the emotions as much as you did the first time you read when you reread a book. So for me, like, if I enjoy the book a lot, chances are I'm not gonna reread it. But there are some exceptions because I feel like some books are nice to reread and I quite enjoy. I picked up some books I have reread in my life, and while I was browsing my shelves, I realized that most of the time I reread series. And the cat is now in the litter box. So I am back after the cat has finished doing his business in the litter box. The litter box is in the living room, so it happens sometimes. So I was saying, what I reread is mostly series. Because I feel like you get more from series than you do from like standalones. Standalones are great. It's nice to have standalones, but at the same time, I feel like when you have multiple books set in the same world, you get more attached to that world, which basically means you want more. And rereading those books are getting more, you know? So for me, from what I've realized now, is that I like to reread series. But before I move on to series, I've read multiple times Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And this is a French edition, but this is book one in a series. There's Cemetery of Forgotten Books, if I'm not mistaken on the title in English. The first book is a masterpiece. I've already talked about it, but I consider this as a modern classic. If you're interested, I did a whole video talking about modern classics. I'll link it somewhere up there if you're interested in learning more. But this is amazing. Like, you just get so much into that book, and if you're someone who enjoys books are the main story. So basically you're following this young guy who, in the after World War II with his dad, he goes into a library, but it's like a private library where you pick a book that, you know, it's a book that's not known, not very popular, forgotten books. And so this young guy picks up a book, he reads it, falls in love with the story, but then realizes there's more to it. So you're following him as he tries to uncover the whole truth about that book. And it goes on for 4 books. There are 4 books in that series, but I think the first one was the best, followed by the 4th book, the last one. And it's just so good, especially if you love books. It's amazing. And it looks like a thick book, but it reads super quick and you just fall in love with everyone in that book. Yeah, and also this is the first book I have read by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, and I have read all of his books that he has published. He sadly passed away a couple years ago, so for me, rereading this also means like just having the chance to reread Carlos Ruiz Zafón, which is honestly amazing. You should read Shadow of the Wind. Then into series. I picked, so there's 2 fantasy series in this and 1 romance. I feel like fantasy is easily like rereadable because the first time you read the book you miss a lot of things because they're more complicated and there's more information and all of them. So rereading fantasy is just a way to learn more about the world. But we'll start with the romance one. I picked up, this is Breed by Abby Glines. This is the first book in a series of, how many books? 8, I think. It's called the Sea Breeze series, and it's so good. But this is for young adult. It's kind of in the same vibe as you know, the samurai turned pretty and those series. But this is older, I believe. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. Oh yeah, it was published in 2013, this book. And in this, you're following Sadie and Jax. Sadie is a young teenage. No, she's not a young teenager. She's what, 16? I think she's 16. Anyway, she's from a small town. She lives alone with her mother, who is a maid in a big mansion, but also at the same time, her mom cannot hold on jobs. You know, she changes jobs every couple of months or years. But in this, her mom is pregnant with a second baby. The fathers of those two kids is not in the picture. And at one point, Sadie's mom doesn't want to go to work anymore because she's too pregnant. And Sadie has to go to work instead of her mom. And that's when she meets Jax, who is a rock star, I believe. Anyway, he's doing music. And it just, you know, it's very cute and they fall in love. But also it's complicated because this guy is in the spotlight and all of that. So, but it's very good, and it reads fast and it's super easy to understand. And it's just like, for me, it's a comfort book. I am showing you the first book, but I've reread the whole series multiple times. It's very cute. Then these are two very popular series. I'll start with It's Now on the Floor. Okay, I'll start with Harry Potter. Also, this edition is so pretty. But rereading Harry Potter is just such a joy. Re-getting myself into that world is amazing. Also, most of the time I have listened to that series, so instead of like reading the actual book, I listen to it. But lately I feel like audiobooks don't work as well for me as they did before, so I feel like this would be a perfect time to reread those. Maybe next year, like starting January, I could read like a book a month for 7 months. That would be a good challenge, actually. But, I mean, is there anything else I can say? Like, Harry Potter is just such an amazing series. We don't talk about the writer on this channel, but the world of Harry Potter is just such... like, it's incredible, and I just enjoy rereading the books, rewatching the movies, all of that. Very good. Then, to finish this video, we'll talk about A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I just enjoy it. Like, it's an easy fantasy. It's not like that hard, but you know, just it's cozy vibes for me. Like, this is the first book, but I think the last one she has published, what is it called? I don't know. Anyway, the last book is the best one by far. But anyway, this is such a fun reread for me because it's just, you know, an easy fantasy, and we don't have enough of this. But yeah, so I reread books sometimes, and for me, rereading books is just to reconnect with a series or a book that you really enjoyed, but at the same time, you won't get the same feelings as you did the first time you read that book. So it's mixed feelings for me regarding rereads, but sometimes it's just good to, you know, have a cup of tea, sitting down and rereading a book you enjoyed so much that you just want to reread it. But yeah, so it's gonna be it for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye.